Okay, so what you're looking at now is basically the office space that I'm renting. Previously, I was renting the floor. Now, I'm living in my RV. And thought I would take this time to tell you a little story about some emotional drama that occurred recently relating to a cat. And this friend that I'm shipping in, and this person who is a current roommate of mine, a cat came to this person that had already been mauled by some sort of animal or person. Beautiful cat with two different colored eyes. This was a couple months ago. The cat basically came to this person for help, who nursed the cat back to life and developed quite a bond with this cat. The neighbor doesn't like the cat because this is the thing, and this is where kind of it's more about a person's loss. It's more about a deeper awakening to where the consciousness is of some people and what it really means for society. At least that's how I interpret things. I look at like one thing and I look at it from a bigger picture. Like this means something. Like, a scene from Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and he's having that moment of clarity with the mound of potatoes, as am I with this. So an old lady pulls the card of seniority, calls a landlord. Landlord says, cat's got to go, or you got to go. Even though this person suffers from loneliness and a lot of trauma that's occurred in their life relating to losing family members. And I'm looking at this going, this is horrifying. I'm watching a friend be told, hey, your cat has to go, or you got to go. And we went through the process of taking the cat to the Humane Society. And I cried too, because of what I watched my friend go through, but also the emotions that it triggered in me dealing with family and loss, and the callousness that basically we witnessed from an older man and an older female. And it's like, wow, it's almost like you're not even human anymore. And apparently the situation's changed. There's an intervention. The wife of the landlord, who is also a landlord, and she stepped in. And apparently the cat is coming back. And perhaps other drama will follow. And I don't really want to use my channel to talk about drama, but I do talk about society. And in my social commentary, I got to talk about how I find it sick for basically anyone who is older and female to pull a card and say, your cat has to go because I don't like your cat, every once in a while sitting on my front porch, knowing that behind the scenes and staying here, that cat has been inside for a good month. The cat got out again, and she must have been meowing meow outside the door instead of just making a phone call and saying, hey, your cat got out again. A card was pulled. That could result in someone losing their apartment. Ultimately, the rent here is cheap, and instead of fight the landlord on the issue, which some of you would, the issue is it wasn't worth it. In some cases, you got to pick your shots, especially when you're on a limited income, especially if you don't even have any income coming in, which is a situation that my friend is in. So I'm helping my friend out this month with rent, and perhaps next month if I am able, because this area is nice and it's cheap and it's quiet. And right now there's no neighbors in the house next door. That is awesome to be able to sit in a garden and not have to deal with a whole bunch of people. That is like a slice of paradise that is so worth it, knowing that people are living in dense population centers, big cities, paying so much for rent. It's like I have been given a slice of paradise. And in a way, I'm like that cat, that stray, that was actually living home free in Portland out of his vehicle, that worked his way out to this part of Colorado. And I've established friendships with people along the way in my travels, in this case visiting an old friend and being able to chip in financially for the rent, in this case being needed to help. It feels good. It's a sense of accomplishment. And even though there were a lot of tears that were released in relation to playing a role in taking the cat down to the Humane Society, and all the emotions that were brought up, working through the emotions and feeling them and allowing myself to feel, that was powerful. And praying to the Creator, or praying to the angels around this particular landlord, that something would happen, something would intervene to make them see the light, that this was totally insane to say, hey, this cat has to go. Because there was harm involved when you say to someone that already suffers from loneliness, who's gone through loss, who's a very nice person, that you have to basically give up your best friend that came to you for help when it was mauled. Now that basically in and of itself is heartless and anti-human, anti-animal. And that is a level of consciousness that we're dealing with on this planet on a lot of different levels, and it expresses itself. It's how we deal with it. It's how we deal with that loss of life, whether it be a family member, father, family member, grandmother, grandfather, son, daughter, someone dying in our life, wife, husband, how we deal with that loss. Because I do believe that everything happens for a reason. Looking at this in how we both were affected by this emotionally, a lot of us are meant to become stronger emotionally, not colder, but actually become stronger. We allow ourselves to feel. We go through the loss. We go through the release of tears. The tear ducts go through an explosion. We become embarrassed about that, but it's okay to cry, but we got to work through the emotions. In the end, we become a stronger person. And we go through healing by releasing those emotions through the form of tears, allowing it to flow when it needs to flow. Now, I believe the cat is on its way back. We will see what drama follows this. But it does appear that there was an intervention in the form of this man's wife. The wife card was played, and the cat is on its way back. I may share some video of the cat later, but I just want to share the story relating to the cat and how the whole thing really touched me and brought back a lot of memories relating to pets that I've had before. And there's a reason why I haven't had any pets. It's because I'm living a very nomadic lifestyle, and I wouldn't really want to put a cat through that, but part of it was not wanting to go through the loss. And so I'm kind of torn at how I currently feel about that, because the current experience has kind of made me want a cat or a dog at some point in my travels, especially if I'm living a rural lifestyle. So despite the fact there's tears involved, what it really brought out was that reminder that we really are connected to nature, and it does often come in the form of our affection for animals and our desire to see them not harmed, our connection to them. And I definitely felt a connection to that cat when I had to take that cat and help my friend out to the Humane Society, knowing that the cat was taken in the next room and given it shots as it tried to bite the person giving him the shots, and knowing how traumatic that was for that cat, not knowing why it was being put into a prison and being given a shot, and then reflecting on just the callous nature of humanity today, but also the difficult predicament we're in, where many people feel that all these shots are necessary, and without that we would have disease. We definitely are in a very interesting reality of sorts. And with that, I'll close and see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.